Okay, let's unpack this. While you were watching elite athletes compete at the Beijing Winter Olympics, there was another kind of competition happening, sort of behind the scenes.
Yeah, our source material for this deep dive actually calls it a technology Olympics.
Right. And China didn't just plan these games as, a sporting event.
No, the clear intention was to use that global stage,
Hmm.
a major showcase for their latest technological advancements.
Exactly. So we've got an article here that really digs into the specific technologies, the companies involved.
Hmm.
Our mission today is really to go beyond those headlines you might have seen, uncover the, well, surprising tech innovations that were meant for the world stage but mostly stayed hidden.
Yeah, and you have to remember the context here. China had this big plan, this ambition to show off its tech progress.
But then COVID happened.
Exactly. Just like with the Tokyo Olympics before it, the restricted attendance because of the pandemic, it really hit that goal hard. Most international visitors just weren't there to see it.
Right. And the source, it makes a point of focusing specifically on the applied technologies, stuff from companies.
Not the basic university research.
Yeah.
This is the practical, ready-to-deploy tech, stuff that was actually implemented and used at the games.
So we're going to cover quite a range today.
Oh, yeah. Everything from digital currency, self-driving cars, to these incredible stadium displays.
Sophisticated AI security system.
Right, tracking tech, translation. It's a really remarkable collection of stuff that, you probably didn't see on your TV screen.
Okay, so let's jump right in. What was supposed to be front and center? The source flags two key technologies as the initial big highlights.
First one up, the digital yuan.
Okay.
And thinking of the context, this isn't just another payment app like, Alipay or WeChat Pay.
No, how's it different?
Well, this is a digital form of China's actual legal currency. And a key difference, transactions using it have zero fees. That's significant.
Zero fees. Okay, so it's really like digital cash, not just a platform sitting on top. How did it work at the games?
Mostly through smartphone software wallets, using NFC Touch.
Tap to pay.
Yeah. Though QR codes were also supported, as a temporary measure while terminals are rolled out. But here's where it gets really interesting for you, especially if you've ever tried paying for things as a foreigner in China.
Oh, yeah, that used to be a real pain. Needing a Chinese phone number, Chinese bank account for the big apps.
Exactly. The source really highlights that difficulty.
Yeah.
Foreigners struggled with those requirements or faced limits, even with things like Tour Pass, remember that, fees, low top-up limits.
Right.
The digital yuan was designed to offer much easier access. You could even get anonymous NFC hardware wallets, like plastic cards.
Anonymous. Where?
At places like airports, apparently, without needing ID. This is a huge friction point for tourism, for businesses.
How so?
Well, it bypasses the need for currency exchange licenses in, say, hotels or shops. Because the digital yuan is legal tender, just like physical cash. No exchange needed.
Wow. Okay. That's actually a pretty big deal. So this could be a really powerful tool for bringing back tourism post-COVID.
That's definitely the potential. But its formal nationwide rollout is still pending. It's currently in trial across 10 cities, Beijing, Shanghai included. So while it was there for the games, its full impact, especially on international visitors, hasn't really landed yet.
Got it. So a key piece of infrastructure, but the big unveiling was kind of muted by circumstances. What was the second flagship tech you mentioned?
That would be Baidu's fully autonomous robotaxis.
Robotaxis. Okay.
These actually started operating as planned in Beijing and other cities during the games.
Oh.
And it was a notable step, moving from L4.
L4 meaning still needed a safety driver inside.
Right, required a safety driver.
Right.
Moving from that to what they termed fully driverless.
Fully driverless always sounds like pure sci-fi. But the source adds some important details, right? It's not completely unsupervised.
Yeah, this brings up a really important point about where autonomous tech actually is right now.
Yeah.
There's no human physically in the car. That's true.
But
there is human oversight. They're monitored remotely from a control center using 5G.
okay. How many cars per supervisor?
Currently, it's one supervisor monitoring one vehicle, though experiments suggest one person could maybe handle up to 3 eventually.
And what does the supervisor do?
Their role is key. If the AI runs into a problem, gets confused, and stops the car.
Which happens.
Yeah, the human can take over remote control, drive the vehicle remotely to a safe spot, then hand control back to the AI.
Ah, the remote human in the loop. Okay. And just like the digital yuan, the limited international crowd meant these advanced robotaxis weren't really seen or experienced by the global visitors they were meant to impress.
Exactly. That intended showcase opportunity for both these sort of foundational technologies largely missed because of the pandemic situation.
Okay, so let's shift gears. Moving from how people might have gotten around to what they actually saw inside the venues. The opening and closing ceremonies. That Bird's Nest Stadium field display was apparently incredible.
Oh, it's a massive project. BOE technology. We're talking an LED display covering over 10,000 square meters of the stadium field.
10,000. That's bigger than a standard soccer pitch.
Yeah.
And the source highlights the sheer technical ambition here.
Totally. It had over 8K resolution. The source gives the specific numbers, 29,900 by 15,096 pixels. Huge.
Wow.
And when you viewed it from certain angles, it could apparently create these really stunning 3D-like effects. What's interesting is the source suggests this kind of massive, integrated, high-res field display. It could become a standard for future big international event ceremonies.
But building something that huge outdoors for a live event must have had some serious engineering challenges.
Oh, you bet. The source points out several. One big one, minimal signal delay. Absolutely critical for synchronizing with live performers.
Right, can't have lag.
BOE got it down to 32 milliseconds, which is really impressive.
Yeah, what else?
Durability, of course. Had to handle low temperatures, water, snow, plus the pressure from hundreds of performers walking, running, dancing on it. And a major fear, apparently, was a single panel failing, creating a visible black hole right in the middle of the display during the show. Nightmare scenario.
Yeah, that would be bad. How did they prevent that?
Extreme redundancy, that was the key. Instead of just one power system, they had multiple backup systems with automatic switchover.
So if one system failed,
another would take over instantly, seamlessly, preventing any part of that huge screen from going dark. It's that kind of fail-safe thinking you need for these high-stakes live events.
Okay, so that display was a marvel. But it wasn't just a passive screen, right? It was integrated with other tech, especially during that beautiful snowflake performance with the 500 girls and the dove lantern.
Yes, a very memorable moment. And the field display was key there. It was used to dynamically draw the girls' paths as intricate snowflake patterns in real time as they moved and gathered around the cauldron.
And that real-time tracking and drawing, that was Intel's tech? 3D?
That's correct, 3D athlete tracking. They used cameras, I think the source said 4 cameras in the bird's nest, to track all 500 performers at the same time, calculate their precise 3D coordinates in the space.
Wow.
And then generate those graphics on the field display instantly based on where they were moving.
Tracking 500 individuals simultaneously. That sounds like a pretty significant challenge for any system.
Yeah, the source notes it was Intel's first time tracking that many people at once. So it was a big scaling test for their 3D8 technology.
And this tech wasn't new, just scaled up.
Well, the underlying tech, 3D8, its original use, was more in sports broadcasting and analysis.
Like tracking soccer players.
Exactly. Calculating distance run, possession stats, that kind of thing for TV or for teams. So adapting that existing sports tracking tech for large-scale performance art was, a pretty clever application.
Now, sticking with that snowflake performance, the source pointed out something else, a completely unexpected non-tech layer hidden within it, one that sparked a lot of discussion, apparently.
Yes, this is where the source gets into something really fascinating, something that went way beyond just the technology showcase.
What was it?
It describes a specific moment in that performance. One girl seems to get lost. She's separated from the main group as they gather into a heart shape.
Okay.
And she's notably in the southeast direction relative to the group. Then, another girl from the main group leaves the heart shape to go and bring her back in.
Southeast. And the source mentioned how many Chinese viewers interpreted this.
Yes. Especially knowing the director, Zhang Yimou,
Right.
and his famous film, One Child Not Be Less. The title translates to Not One Less.
Right.
Many people saw that lost girl, specifically in the southeast direction geographically, towards Taiwan, as a powerful allegory.
An allegory for Taiwan.
For Taiwan being lost and needing to return to the mainland. It apparently resonated very deeply with a particular perspective within China.
Okay, that is a very specific and potent interpretation from one side. The source is careful, though, right? It presents other viewpoints, too.
Absolutely. It makes sure to acknowledge that Taiwanese people themselves would likely, strongly object to being called lost. From their perspective, they feel they've achieved freedom, human rights, and they see themselves as the legitimate China. The source also notes that many people in Japan, for instance, support that Taiwanese viewpoint.
And the source adds even more nuance about the situation in Taiwan.
Yeah, it touches on discussion within the source material about Taiwan's, quote, economic decline problem outside of its huge semiconductor industry.
Okay.
And it mentions the complex reality where Taiwanese voters might elect national leaders who are very anti-mainland.
Right.
But then at the local level, in cities like Taipei or Hsinchu, they might elect leaders who are more open to economic exchange with the mainland, sort of separating politics and economics in their day-to-day dealings.
So presenting this impartially, the source kind of suggests Zhang Yimou's portrayal could be seen as reflecting a common sentiment among mainland Chinese citizens.
Perhaps
Yeah.
viewing Taiwan as compatriots in a sad, separated situation.
Expressed subtly within the bounds of a big state event without causing, major political waves internationally at the time.
Exactly. It's just striking how a single moment in this huge spectacle could hold such layered meaning, even political meaning, that probably wasn't widely understood or even reported outside of China.
Yeah, it really underscores that these massive events often have multiple layers, multiple purposes.
Definitely.
Okay, let's pivot back to the tech itself, specifically AI vision and navigation technologies. The source groups several of these together.
Right. One practical application mentioned was AI vision used for temperature measurement. Megsley provided this.
I feel like we saw contactless temperature checks everywhere during that period. Was this specific tech new for the Olympics?
Interestingly, no. The source notes this wasn't brand new tech developed just for the games. It was an existing product already widely deployed across China, malls, train stations, airports, using cameras, AI analyzing infrared data, screening multiple people at once without contact, sending alerts.
So leveraging existing proven tech for the event's needs. Makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, standard application then. What about the AR navigation systems? Those sound newer.
Yeah, both MigZef and SenseTime provided AR navigation, indoors and even outdoors at different venues, like the Bird's Nest and the Zhangjiakou Athlete Village.
And what's the problem AR navigation solves here, compared to just using GPS or, I don't know, Wi-Fi signals?
Accuracy. That's the big thing, especially indoors. GPS, or China's Baidu system, they don't work well inside big buildings.
Right.
And using signal strength from Wi-Fi or Bluetooth beacons, often not precise enough to guide you to, say, your specific seat number or the nearest restroom in a huge stadium.
So how does the AR version work?
It uses image analysis from your phone's camera.
Okay, comparing what the camera sees to something else.
Exactly. They first create these highly precise 3D laser scans of the facilities, digital twins, basically.
Ah, a 3D map.
Right. Then the AI analyzes the live feed from your camera, compares it to that digital twin, figures out your exact location and orientation within that 3D map,
And then
it overlays AR directions right onto your phone screen. Arrows, paths, showing you exactly where to walk.
Cool. And SenseTime even managed to make this work outdoors? That sounds even harder.
Yeah, they covered a huge area, over 300,000 square meters outdoors in Zhangjiakou. A key challenge there, the source mentions, was handling environmental changes, especially snow.
Snow covering everything.
Exactly. It completely changes how the ground looks compared to the original 3D scan, the digital twin. So they had to train the AI to estimate your location accurately, even with snow cover. That's a significant computer vision problem.
I can imagine. Yeah, snow changes the whole visual landscape. The source also mentioned Didi using similar tech.
Yes, for AR navigation in big transport hubs, airports, train stations, guiding people directly to specific taxi stands or rideshare pickup points.
Seems like this kind of precise image-based AR navigation could really spread, right, to more complex public spaces, malls, campuses.
It seems very likely. The potential is definitely there.
Now, speaking of SenseTime again, they also had a neat application for making a particular sport easier to follow. Curling.
Ah, yes, the curling stone tracking system.
Yeah. Curling can be tricky to watch from the stands, right? Hard to see the angles, the final positions.
Exactly. The distance, the subtle movements after collisions. It's tough for spectators. So SenseTime developed this system.
What'd it do?
It tracked the stones' positions and movements in real time, including their trajectories after they hit each other.
And displayed this how?
On the large monitors inside the venue, showing the paths, the final layout clearly. It just made the game much easier for the live audience to understand and appreciate.
It's interesting the source notes this wasn't really used heavily in the international TV broadcasts.
No, the focus seemed to be specifically on improving the in-venue spectator experience. Different tech for different audiences, I guess.
Yeah, enhancing that physical presence makes sense. Okay, let's move to security and monitoring tech, another area where the source highlights quite a bit of deployment.
Right. For the high-speed sports, like bobsled and luge, Dahua technology provided the video judgment system.
What did that involve?
Their cameras were pretty advanced, capable of recognizing the sleds, tracking their movement very precisely, even drawing their routes on screen.
And the use cases, not just for replays.
No, it was used to assist referees in making judgments, about fouls or improper runs, and also providing valuable data for athlete training, for analysis.
Okay. And what about general venue security, like, say, at the Capitol Gymnasium?
Uniview installed about 1,000 network surveillance cameras there.
1,000 cameras. Wow.
Yeah. And a particularly interesting capability that the source highlights is automated tracking.
Meaning?
The system could automatically track individuals flagged as suspicious across different camera views, based on features like their clothing, body type, even their gait, how they walk.
Was that system developed specifically for the Olympics, or was it like the temperature screening?
The source notes it was another existing system, already widely deployed in China, not something brand new just for the games.
Yeah.
It reflects the level of surveillance tech already in common use there.
Right. Now, what about securing those huge, difficult outdoor areas? Like the mountain ski venues in Zhangjiakou. That sounds like a nightmare, especially in the cold.
Yeah, identified as a major operational challenge. We're talking 100 square kilometers of mountains, extreme cold, down to -40 Celsius at night.
-40?
Makes human guarding incredibly difficult, dangerous, and inefficient. So IntelliCloud provided a security robot system.
Security robots, patrolling the mountains. Tell me about that.
Well, they used a combination of simple physical fences plus virtual electronic fences. Geofencing.
Okay.
Cameras would automatically track anyone crossing that virtual boundary. And the robots themselves, they were equipped to monitor large areas, up to 15 kilometers away, apparently.
And the efficiency gain? Was it significant?
According to the source, yes. It states that just 13 of these security robots did the equivalent work of 200 human security guards.
13 robots replacing 200 guards. That's a massive difference in that kind of environment.
Huge efficiency improvement for monitoring vast, challenging terrain.
Okay, so beyond all the vision tracking and security systems, the source highlights a couple of other notable technologies that were deployed.
Yeah, one that would have been incredibly useful for the few international visitors who were there was iFlyTech's multilingual translation system.
Used across different Olympic facilities.
And it was pretty capable.
How so?
Real-time voice translation. The source says it could understand 69 languages, speak 60.
60 languages.
And even handle communication between 3 different languages simultaneously.
Wow. Accuracy, speed.
Claimed 95% accuracy for typical info requests, and really fast, like half a second for the translation. Clearly designed to smooth communication between visitors and staff who didn't share a language.
That's genuinely useful tech for any big international gathering. And finally, the source mentions something about traffic violation detection, specifically for the Olympic lanes.
Yeah, Tandy provided this system, covering those dedicated Olympic vehicle lanes on 42 roads, about 240 kilometers worth.
Okay, and the challenge there was?
Identifying vehicles driving illegally in those lanes, especially at night. But critically, doing it without using blinding camera flashes. Those could cause accidents themselves.
Right, you don't want to blind drivers on the highway. So how did they get clear images in the dark without a flash?
They developed some clever tech. It separates and amplifies the visible light coming from the scene, then combines it with infrared data.
Okay.
This creates clear images that show the vehicle's color and details, even at night when ambient light is low. But crucially, without needing that disruptive flash.
Smart. And it wasn't just for catching people driving in the wrong lane?
No. They also had a system using 360-degree cameras for detecting and issuing tickets for parking violations along those routes in real time, with apparently 95% accuracy.
Okay. So when you pull all of this together, the foundational stuff like digital yuan and robotaxis, the massive spectacle tech like the field display, the sophisticated AI for vision and tracking, the advanced security, the translation, the smart traffic control, it really was, just like the source says, a technology Olympics happening largely out of sight for most of the world.
The source uses that term haikiji, right? Hakuridi.
Which means?
Translates literally as black tech. But the sense is more like magically advanced technology. Something surprisingly cutting edge, not negative.
Got it. Like, whoa, where did that come from?
Exactly. And the source makes the point that many of these Chinese companies developed this haikiji with a very clear goal, showcase it globally via the Olympics.
Hoping for international media buzz, new overseas
Right.
business.
Expand significantly outside China.
Which brings us back again to the impact of the pandemic.
Yeah. The source concludes that in that specific goal, achieving that widespread global showcase, the Technology Olympics was, well, kind of a failure.
Because the audience wasn't there.
The intended international audience just wasn't there in large numbers. So that grand reveal for many of these innovations, it just didn't happen on the scale they hoped for.
But the source interestingly frames this failure as maybe a potential opportunity, especially for businesses outside China.
Thinking about the implications, yeah. Because China missed that big chance to broadcast this tech globally on its own terms.
Mm.
The source suggests it might actually be a favorable time right now for foreign companies, researchers, maybe you, to really dive into these relevant Chinese technologies,
How?
potentially presenting opportunities to research, license, or maybe even utilize some of this advanced tech on advantageous terms before it becomes widely known and adopted internationally.
That's a really practical strategic takeaway from digging into this hidden tech story. And looking ahead, the source seems clear this wasn't a one-off.
No, absolutely not. The source expects China to keep pushing hard, advancing rapidly in areas like AI, IoT, security, automation, across the board, really.
Well, this has been a genuinely fascinating deep dive, pulling back the curtain on that hidden technological layer of the Beijing Winter Olympics.
Yeah, covering the whole range, from the digital currency and transport up to those huge displays, the AI tracking, security translation.
And really understanding the context, that missed global showcase due to the pandemic, revealing what was largely unseen but still represents significant progress.
Definitely.
So, for you listening, maybe consider which of these technologies really stood out to you and why. How might it be relevant to your own work, your industry, your interests?
Yeah, what are the implications you see? For future big events, sure, but also for smart cities, maybe even the tech you use personally every day.
And it brings up a bigger question, too.
Hmm.
Given this level of rapid, integrated tech development we saw, even in just this snapshot, how might China's Haikiji, this advanced tech, reshape specific global industries in the next few years?
And, maybe more importantly, how prepared are other countries, other businesses, to adapt to that pace of change?
Or thinking back to that subtle allegory in the opening ceremony, how might technology increasingly be used to embed cultural or even political messages within these huge public spectacles?
Lots to think about there. Definitely something to ponder as you look at the world around you.